The central theme of discovery and exploration played a central role in the experience of one of our interviewees, who, lo and behold, was a non-traditional scholar. I'm Makenna Steele, and I will be reporting on David, a graduate of the class of 2008 as a non-traditional student. Non-traditional means that he was not the typical college student. He was a married, grown man before joining the Donaghey Scholar Program.
We met in college. We were actually going to a Christian university in Springfield, Missouri. We left because we got married and started having kids and couldn't afford that private university anymore. And we also couldn't afford for both of us to be going at the same time. She was ahead in school from where I was, and she knew what she wanted to do. She finished up, so she went back and finished up her degree in Missouri, and but she was from Arkansas. So when she finished, she started her career teaching. We came down here to move where she was able to get her foot in the door in a public school when she was teaching there. And as soon as that happened, I said, well, now it's my turn, I'm going to go back.
He was not a high school student with dreams of greatness, but a grown man trying to pave a way into his future, and was able to do so through the program. David found a stable place within the Donaghey Scholar Program to further question his beliefs.
I grew up in a very conservative religious family that was conservative both theologically and politically. And from my early teen years on, I really set about with the intention of questioning those things while still I embraced that kind of worldview and perspective on reality fully at the time, but still wanted to test it and figure out, is this really right? Are these things true? Is this good? And that has been vital to me all along. I've come to very different conclusions, and Donaghey Scholars allowed me a path in a space where I could do some of that introspection. And
growing up in a politically conservative and religious family, David was an outlier in the sense that the Donaghey Scholars tend to have liberal leanings. David was the equivalent of a palm tree in Arkansas in the Donaghey Scholar Program, but this did not stop him from using the Donaghey Scholar Program to its fullest extent.
My childhood dream, I don't know if I had one. There were times when I thought that I might be like an entertainer. I was a musician in middle school and high school, and did well in band competitions and those kinds of things. I at one point thought that I might do something along the lines of like Saturday Night Live or David Letterman or something like that. And so no, that is not the direction my life has taken, and I'm actually very glad. So I married early, started early with a family, and my career path from the very beginning has always been geared toward giving back to the community, giving back to the society in some way. I've worked in nonprofit and public service throughout, and that's very important to me. So, because I feel like I made some mistakes early on in life choices, and our society, our country has helped me in kind of stepping up out of those mistakes, and I've had opportunities because of that, and the Donaghey Scholars Program.
One of the many opportunities David gained from the Donaghey Scholar Program was the ability to study abroad. David traveled with his wife to Spain as David's study abroad trip and their honeymoon. Without the Donaghey Scholar Program, he and his wife would have never honeymooned anywhere.
My wife got to come along with me to Spain, and that was amazing because we never had the opportunity to take a honeymoon, and this wasn't a honeymoon exactly, but it was a trip that we got to take together. The kids weren't there, which was really nice. It was a month of time alone. And
This is David's Actuality of the program. And now to Catherine for a report on the actuality of another non-traditional student.
What's surprising, McKenna, is how consistent of a consensus we received from scholars who not only had been away from the program in a number of years, but who joined it at a different era in their own right. Frances Morgan, another non-traditional student who graduated in the early 1990s, agrees with David in saying that the Donaghey program was nothing but a positive impact on her life.
After that first semester, man, I was in overdrive. I was a sponge. I wasn't missing anything. As my older daughter said, when my mom went to college, she went to college. Because she just lived it and breathed it, and I did. It was amazing. And I thought maybe that was just because I was a non-traditional and it was such a gift, an unexpected gift. And I found out that's not the case. Most folks of whatever age who go into that program really tickled pink they're there and really just get as much out of it as they possibly can. So that also made me feel good. I thought, well, everybody's kind of feeling the same.
She goes even further to often mention how it was the best thing to possibly happen to her.
First of all, I got out of my car with my backpack. I'm going to a class in the middle of the day. Oh my God. I'm on a college campus in the middle of the day going to class. Oh my God. Walked into colloquium and looked out the window and looked around, and I'd met most of the people at the orientation thing. And looked around the class and looked out the window, and I said to myself, if I die right now, I'm very happy. Because I just couldn't believe I had that chance. I'd never even dreamed of it. Never.
Frances's story is bittersweet, but ends in triumph. As a married mother of two and a high school dropout, Frances practically defines what it means to be a non-traditional student. She is by far one of the most impressive women I've ever met. In her quest to pursue her education, she was forced to divorce a begrudging husband and risk the opinion of her own parents while attempting to traverse the difficulties of being in college. Growing up, it never even occurred to her that education was an option to her.
Yes.
But you're talking a lot about how you weren't ever intending to go to college, really. So what was your childhood dream?
To get married and have children. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes. It's all of the stuff you hear on the news about expectations, and when parents don't talk about that, it doesn't matter how bright you are. You don't see that as an option. And quite frankly, I still have not successfully gotten rid of the I don't deserve thing. That's not my family thing. I have that imposter syndrome still, and it'll never go away. It can't, because those tapes are too deeply embedded. But this was more than I ever dreamed of. I didn't dream of doing this because I didn't think I was entitled to do it, so it was never on the table. And I didn't get to do it, it wasn't on the table. So yeah, this is something I never would have dreamed of.
Despite the obstacles in her path, Frances Morgan managed to get through life as a college student in her 40s, puking friends and all, and to go on to live her life the way she wanted. She attributed all of this to the Donaghey program and the fateful day that director Dr. Earl Ramsey went out of his way to track her down in a Kroger to get her to apply. But that is a story for another time. Next episode, we will address the hopes of those on the outside looking in with Chris. Thank you for your time.